Hey friends, we've gotten a lot of questions recently about the Overwolf map, so I wanted to take a moment to show you both how the map kind of works a little bit, as well as some things you can do in terms of tips and tricks to make your map experience a little bit better. So right now I have the Overwolf map up running with my Palia game. And you can see a few things on the map at the moment. So right here in the middle is my little player icon. I have a little trail following where I have been, where I'm coming from. And then on the map, you can see some different items showing up. I have some iron nodes on my map. I've got some briar daisies. There's a heart drop lily over here. And if I come down a little bit, there's some gold over here. You can see some heat root in the distance as well. So I want to show you kind of how this all works. When you start up the map, you have two main options. If you have multiple monitors, you will want to potentially put it in second screen mode. This will have it run on a separate monitor than your one that you're gaming on. If you prefer something different, or if you don't have a second monitor, if this is toggled off, it will become an overlay on top of your game with a little mini version of the map to show you the different items on the map. Both ways work fine. It's mostly a matter of A, do you have a second monitor, or B, do you prefer running it in the overlay mode? Either is fine. So I have a few things showing on my map here, and I want to show you how you can make your map work a little bit better for you. First of all, up here next to my second screen mode is a little button that says live mode. You definitely want to make sure you have live mode turned on because this shows you items currently on the map. If you turn this off, your map is going to become insane because this shows you every possible spawn point for every possible item in the game. Way, way, way too much. So live mode will just show you what is currently on the map you're on at the moment. Second thing, over here we have our little menu. There's a little handy weekly once menu that will show you your villagers weekly once. And then it'll show you the time in game. You can toggle the grid on and off. That'll show you which block of the grid you are on. It'll show you what map you're in. And then down here is my favorite part. These are my filters. And you can turn filters on and off either as a group or individually if you want to go a little more granular. So if we start up here at the top, we have things like locations. You can turn on different landmarks, have it show you where the stables are. I do have stables turned on so I can find the nearest stable. Different landmarks like villager houses. And there are more options you can turn on here. Under timed events, this is where you can toggle things like the Bahari and Kilima loot piles, the artifact piles in the Elderwood, and also the Flower Bloom event. What to know about the Flower Bloom, this will not show you exactly where the bloom is. However, it will show you possible spawn locations for the bloom. So if you have this turned on and you see this symbol on your map, it is a spot where the bloom could potentially spawn. We also have Zeki's Winterlight chests. And then as we come down, there's even more. If you're hunting the treasures in Bahari or Kilima, this will show you all the different treasure chests. Elderwood decor, players. I have mine toggled to show me party members. So if I'm in a group, I can find them easier. You can turn on villagers. And then we move on to things like mining, hunting, and so on. Each of these categories you can either turn on all at once by selecting it, and this will show you the location of every single villager if they're on the map at the moment. Or I can click to turn it off, and if I click this little triangle here, I can narrow it down by specifics. So maybe I just want to see where Hodari is or Hassian. And I can turn those individual players on and off. The same thing works for all of the different categories here. I don't necessarily need to see every single mining option. I don't need to see where stone is. I don't need to see where clay is. So I have mine toggled just to show me what I'm looking for. So I have all silvers. I have my platinums turned on, my pallium turned on. And then for things like iron, I have large and medium iron. I don't usually turn small on, but that is an option. You can toggle elderwood stone and copper and clay as well. So you can decide how much of that you actually want to see. Same thing goes for all of the rest. If you have flow infused turned on for lumberjacking, it makes it easy to find both individual flow trees and the grove when the grove appears. And then, of course, we have our bugs, which you can also filter by not just rarity, but also whether they're star quality or infected if you're looking for something specific. For most of what I do, I have just my rare and above turned on, but that's more of a personal preference. You can have as much or as little turned on as you want. So if I come down a little bit, we've got foraging, so you can look for different foraging items. That's how I can see my briar daisy and my heart drop lily and my heat root. Things like Dari cloves are much easier to find like this. If you're fishing, you can turn on hotspots and it will show where the different fishing nodes are, both for the regular starred hotspots and the infected hotspots. And then again, here on fishing, I have mine filtered down pretty much to rare and above, with a few exceptions for plushies that fall under the uncommon and common category. So all of this can be filtered down any way you like it to make your map work for you. The other thing I want to show you that can be really handy is right down here on the menu on the left-hand side, there is a little settings icon. And here under settings, we've got some really nice stuff here. So my favorite things are right here, the icon size and player icon size. The icon size will change the size of the images showing the different nodes, plants, whatever you're looking for. And you can increase that to make them really big or shrink them down really small. I usually have mine set somewhere in the middle. Makes it a little easier, especially when I'm fishing, to find what I'm looking for. Player icon size will be the size of your personal marker on the map as well as any party members. And then if I scroll down a little bit, we have the trace line option. This is that little dotted line that shows where I've been. And you can decide how long you want that line to be, the rate, and then your color. Mine, of course, has to be purple. If you go down a little further, there are some hotkeys that you can use as they are or modify to whatever works for you. And so these are all some great little features that are going to help you out. So you can see my map here. I'm going to tab over to my game so you can see me moving in real time. I'm going to come back here and look for this lovely little mantis back here. There you are. And it makes it so much easier to find what you are looking for. So if you are using the Overwolf map, or if you were thinking about it but weren't sure if you wanted to give it a try, hopefully this helps you out, and enjoy your time in Palia.